I remember I used to lay in my bed looking at the ceiling, and I would think, what is the purpose of suffering? What is the purpose of going through hard times? And I think that answer right now in 2025 for me would be going through the suffering, going through hell and back. It made me realize one day that I wasn't the person I needed to be. Going through hard times, going through just times that's not fun and it sucks. It can make you, but it can also break you. But one thing I feel like people don't talk about enough is going through bad times over and over again. That's trauma. Going through this year, I wasn't really aware of it. But all in all, it was a great teacher for me. Even though the shift in my mindset hasn't manifested into the physical yet, the most important thing is that I updated my software, my mind, and that was the most important thing. Things I learned rather, say no to procrastination, say yes to discipline and systems, and realize that only you can help you. See, I had to callous my mind, as David Goggins would say. You know, this thing, life, is weird. It's complicated, but even though we make it more complicated than it has to be, it has a lot of questions that will never get answered. As cliche as it sounds, that's what people always say, right? That's life. We don't know. It's unpredictable. It's unknown. So once I realized that, the day I realized I wasn't who I needed to be, I just said to myself one day, I was like, man, my situation is shitty, but it's people worse off than me. It's people better off than me. But why keep thinking about it? Why not just fight? Why not just fight and let the cards fall, and whatever happens, happens? There's no such thing as perfection. There's no such thing as just winning all the time. That's not how life goes. I think sometimes we can get just brainwashed from social media, and from social media we as human beings, because it's wired in us, because we're animals at times, this is just the nature in us. Sometimes we make everything a competition when it doesn't have to be. And at one point, I got caught up in that. And at some point for me, I was just like, yo, like, I'm tired of this shit. Why I gotta be on somebody's timeline? Why do I have to be on somebody else's radar, somebody else's timeline? Why do I have to abide by what people think I should do? Why do I have to abide by the societal norms of what I should be doing at a certain age, or certain weight, certain wage, certain class? Why do I let all this shit affect me? Why do I take all this shit? Why do I let all this become a catalyst in my decisions? That's what I began wondering. But one thing I always had in myself is that I've always loved to learn. I've always loved to learn new things. I've always loved to get better. And that was the medicine that helped me break out of this. To be quite frankly with y'all, for lack of better terms, to just be able to escape hell. I realized that I'm the architect of what I want to be. I wasn't blaming anybody or anything like that. It's just, I just really dialed in on that mindset of I'm the architect of what I want to be. And you have to be willing to just throw paint on a wall and maybe some artwork, some fantastic artwork comes out of it. But you have to accept everything. And in order to have this mindset, I feel I learned that say no to procrastination, no more time wasting. Stop waiting for people to make decisions. You have to learn how to do things by yourself. And at the end of the day, nobody's coming to save you. At the end of the day, you have to use your brain. Use your 2 feet, your 2 hands, your brain, most importantly, and make something happen. It's not some crazy fairy tale story or solution that's going to make you get the life that you want. You may come up short, you may get what you want, or you may be somewhere in the middle. But my mindset now is, no matter what, I'm gonna always try. If I'm successful, cool. If I'm not. If I'm not, I'm not. But I'm gonna always be at peace when I know that I tried. And for next year, that's all I'm gonna be doing. But a lot of my stuff is gonna be in silence. I'm gonna just improve in silence. Nobody needs to know my plans. Nobody needs to know what I'm doing, because at the end of the day, all this stuff is for me. And to close out, not to say I never won, not to say I've never been successful, but for once in my life, I just want to know what it's like to win on an extraordinary level.